Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
So Dan, 1-1 away to Newport means that we are still top of the league.
Still top of the league, still unbeaten.
Still top of the league, still unbeaten. 10 games unbeaten. Wowee.
Yeah, but they're saying 13, aren't they?
On what grounds?
Well, I think at the end of last season.
Oh yeah, so we're heading for this record, aren't we? Well, that is now the equal record.
Yeah.
13 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. I never really count that, do you?
Well...
I think that's done last season.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, yeah.
I know it's like a stat man's dream, stat woman's dream.
Especially
there are no stat women. They got more sense.
Yeah. Especially as we did lose in pre-season as well. Remember counting then, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, 10 games unbeaten this season. The league table, she don't lie.
No, and everyone was saying that's the time that you're allowed to look at the table, 10 games in, you know, like that's the time when it means something.
Yeah. The dinner bell has been rung. Someone's set my cutlery out. I am looking at the table, and we are top.
Yeah.
Head of the table.
Absolutely.
Someone spilt the apple juice, but we're head of the table. I don't know
who
what
was
metaphor
that?
is. Who spilt the apple juice?
Argyle probably, wasn't it?
Argyle have, pooed in their own apple juice.
Oh, I love it. I love looking at it, just watching the scores come in, and obviously I get more out of Exeter City scoring, but anyone scoring against Argyle isn't actually that far behind, which is pretty sad, really, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we never talk about this, but we should, because, of course, the online forum for chatting about Exeter City has got the sensibly named XWeb. Listeners, if you're unaware, the online forum for chatting about Plymouth Argyle is Pasoti.
What does that mean?
Plymouth Argyle supporters on the internet. On the internet, that's it. Pasoti. It's awful. So I pop on to Pasoti from time to time, and
oh, you're one of them.
Only when they're losing. Only when they're losing in the same league as us. Only when I want to see some, discord amongst the Green Army.
Yeah. And
the discord is already starting.
I mean, I think I've already confessed to having last season, given not this season, having a little shufty around the concrete roundabout, which is the name for the Milton Keynes Dons Forum.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think
so. You're
like
on there. I'm on Pasoti.
I'm not on there now.
Okay, fine.
I never joined.
I mean, I'm back on Pasoti because let's see what's happening, and they are not feeling it. Whereas on XWeb, there's almost nothing happening because it's almost too good. And there was someone even on there the other day saying, "I was a bit boring on it when we were winning."
Yeah,
I like that. I like that boringness. We're just getting on with our lives. We can enjoy our week, Sunday to Friday, and then there's a game.
Also winning, / drawing, but in not exactly in style either, is it? I'm not knocking it. It's great. I love it, but it's not like we're winning 4-0, 3-0,
but it's also
5-0.
Not dramatic. We're just winning, getting the thing, getting the points on the board in the Matt Taylor style. No nonsense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Matt Taylor.
Okay.
Manager of the month for August. We didn't really want to mention it at the time because it's kind of cursed, isn't it? But he's broken the curse.
I mean, who else are you going to give it to?
He's like Harry Potter. He's found all of Voldemort's stuff and he's living the dream.
Is that what happens in that?
Yeah, he finds all the stuff, finds all his bits of soul, and then goes. Everything's good afterwards. Him and Ron and Hermione living the dream.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, true fact. That's what's happening now.
I've
Taylor.
only seen. I haven't read any Harry Potter books, and I've only seen the very last instalment of the films because I just went with a girl.
And let me guess, you didn't know what was going on.
I didn't have a clue, and it was in 3D. And also, but retrofit 3D, so it's not even supposed to be in 3D, so it doesn't even look good.
It's a bold move going on a date in the 3D glasses.
I look good in anything.
Well, I look good in nothing, so you want to kind
Same thing. Same thing applies then.
I suppose that's true. So Harry Potter in this metaphor, Matt Taylor is Harry Potter.
Okay.
Tisdale is Voldemort, bold, creepy.
Yeah.
And Perryman is the one who can't decide whose side he's on. Who?
Is he Gandalf? I don't know. These people are.
Anyway, it's going well, and he's broken the curse. And of course, he was approached by Lincoln City those slugs, I believe you like to call them.
Well, that applies to anyone really that isn't Exeter City. But yeah, slugs.
I think they're particular slugs.
Yeah, it was unconfirmed that it's Lincoln, but I mean, let's be honest, it was Lincoln.
It was Lincoln because Cowley left, took his brother with him, and went to Huddersfield. That's going well, Dan. Good work. And
they got pumped, didn't they, yesterday?
They got absolutely
or whenever it was.
Walloped.
Saturday.
And then Lincoln were kind of fumbling around in the dark for some sort of replacement, and presumably Tisdale wasn't answering the calls. Michael Flynn at Newport, he was allowed to talk to them by Newport and chose not to take it any further.
Right.
Whereas Matt Taylor didn't even want to talk to them.
Not interested.
What a guy.
Yeah.
And more than not interested, he said, people at Exeter City have been really good to me. I want to repay that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, why would you leave in the middle of like, you know, a sort of project that you just started? You have to be only doing it for the money, and I don't know how much more money it would be. Probably a bit. And also, you got to go and live in Lincoln.
Yeah, long way.
Yeah, is it nice there? This is
Yeah,
another
I think
thing
it's kind of like Exeter.
We've been,
isn't it?
haven't we? But
It's flat.
okay, so you could cycle around.
Cycle around. That's all I know about it. It's a long way from anywhere, a bit like Exeter. Anyway, he didn't take it. He stuck with us, and his reward was 8 points so far in September. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's an excellent start to the season. Let's talk about Newport a bit.
Okay.
So we went 1-0 up, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Randall Williams
crucial
corner.
goal, that.
I might be wrong, but I think that's the first corner of the season that's gone in to a player, so no kind of double rebound or whatever, and then we've scored from it. I might be wrong.
Well, you are wrong.
Am I? Tell me.
Literally the week before.
Which game?
The one that Matt Taylor called the goal of the season.
Oh, nuts.
No, it's 2 weeks ago. Aaron Martin.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. We haven't had that many of them, and I was just thinking at the Port Vale game, our corners are a bit lacklustre. Anyway, Williams put in a very nice one. Martin seemed to be a bit unmarked. Toe poke from about a yard out.
Yeah.
Great, 1-0 up.
Brilliant. It's so important to get that early goal in games like that where you're going to be, as transpired, just kind of battered for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, fair play to Newport. They're a solid team, and that really works. And they're not just bullies, are they? You know, they do.
No.
They're very well organised. They know what they're doing. They've got a really good hold-up player in Jamil Matt, who by all accounts are just, you know, like... I mean, had a good game, but I mean, obviously not that good a game because they couldn't break us down to score more than one goal, which came from a penalty. Which have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it. So it's
That's
Parks,
a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
It is because Parks, the ball comes to him inside the box. He goes to clear it and slips.
Yeah.
So it's kind of trapped between his legs. He kind of shuffles it out of his legs, and then someone essentially runs into him on the floor.
Yeah.
And penalty.
Yeah.
It seemed a bit harsh to me.
Well, I mean, the ref came in for some real kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, criticism, didn't he, from everyone kind of reporting on the game online, which is like, you know, it's a good thing that isn't it, these days you can kind of get quite a well-rounded view of sort of what's going on in the game because from listening to the radio and from people's updates, you know, the club and whoever else. But it didn't seem like anyone was particularly happy with the ref, and Matt Taylor certainly wasn't because he sort of had a few controlled words at the end of the match, didn't he? You know, but
he did.
I mean, that seems. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't a penalty because, you know, but he was just lying on the floor. I
think it's harsh. So we conceded the penalty, which then Tristan I can't say it. That guy.
Tristan Abrahams.
Thank you. He scored it. Former loanee with us. Where's he from? Norwich, is it?
Yeah, but I think now is he on loan at Newport? Or does he play for Newport? I think they were saying on the radio that he
plays for
signed
Newport.
for them.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that guy who didn't do much for us at all, did he, last year?
He scored a goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't
see that much
his
action,
first game?
Something like that.
Yeah, I thought he was one of those ones. He looked kind of promising, and then suddenly he was gone.
Yeah.
And then it was one of those ones where, a bit like Robbie Cundy this season, where he went back and then he went straight back out to Yeovil. He spent the rest of the season.
That's right.
Last season at Yeovil, didn't he? Where
he did.
I don't really know what he did because I wasn't paying attention.
Well,
to
they
that.
got relegated, so we can't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Abrahams put the penalty away. Good penalty. We had a chance, didn't we, towards the end? Did you see this with Jaden Richardson?
I did. Yeah, very, very close.
It was. So ball went back to the Newport keeper, and Richardson intercepted, kind of tackled him, got it through his legs, but couldn't quite get around him before the defender came
got
in.
back in time, didn't he? Yeah, the keeper was trying to do a Cruyff turn.
Which is always ambitious, particularly on a not, dare we say it, it's not the silkiest of pitches
Definitely
at Rodney
not.
Parade, is it?
Yeah. I mean, are we still calling that a Cruyff turn, or are we now calling that a Moxie turn? Because, I mean, Johan Cruyff's been dead for a minute, and, like, Moxie does about 5 a game.
Moxie's done more in this last 2 seasons than Cruyff did his entire life.
Yeah.
That's a fact, listeners.
Although he did come up with it.
Kids, if you don't know who Johan Cruyff is, doesn't matter. But he could do this turn, the Cruyff turn.
Oh, you'll know the thing.
Do you think it's still called that?
Yeah.
Do you?
Whether you know who Johan Cruyff was or not.
He was dad of Jordi
Or
Cruyff.
Jordi Cruyff, for that matter. I don't know. Was he doing a lot of Cruyff turns? I think probably couldn't get away with it because everyone was always expecting him to do them.
Don't you think he had to, like by trademark? Like, we'll sign you, Jordi, but you've got to keep doing the Cruyff turn.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how will people know who your dad is?
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember much about him, to be honest.
No. Anyway,
Did he play
doesn't matter.
against Exeter?
He played against Exeter. I think he might have done, yeah, in the Old Trafford game. He was definite B team kind of guy, wasn't he? Same category as Darren Ferguson.
I might have those timelines completely wrong.
Carl Hoddle.
All those guys.
Lee
Martin. Started at Man United, didn't he?
The Man United player, not our Lee Martin.
No, our Lee Martin.
Oh, our Lee Martin.
Started at Man United.
He did, that's true, he did. As did the other Lee Martin. It's very confusing. These people need new names. On that, it was good. Some good saves from Lewis Ward. He's just been brilliant, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he got kicked in the face or something, didn't he? Or headbutted.
Oh, Lewis.
Had a little gash.
He's such a what's the word? I'm so full of confidence when I see him. I don't just mean in goal. I just mean in it ever. I suddenly think, well, life's better. Lewis Ward's here in Sainsbury's. But he's been great, hasn't he? 10 games in, he's been great.
Yes.
So we're almost a quarter of the way through the season. I know we're not quite, but on everything so far, it's been a very good first 10 games, hasn't it?
You can't ask for much more than that, really, can you?
You cannot. I'm certainly not asking for more. Argyle floundering, City flying, Taylor winning things and turning other things down. Brilliant.
Yeah, excellent.
What else could you want?
The same thing to carry on happening.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Next up at St James's Park is Grimsby Town.
Yeah.
Who are they sponsored by? Isn't it like some frozen fish company?
Is it?
Yeah, it's not Bird's Eye, it's the other one. Oh, I can't remember the name. Look it up in a minute. Grimsby Town, it's kind of the only thing of note about them. They're sponsored by, son of Bird's
Matthews.
Eye.
No, he's the chicken guy.
Yeah, not Bernard Matthews. Not Iceland Black Forest Gatto.
Sarah Lee.
Sadly, not Sarah Lee. Not Rusty Lee either, former TV chef. I always used to wonder if Sarah Lee, maker of Gattos, and Rusty Lee were related.
I've never heard of Rusty Lee.
Never heard of Rusty?
Young's
Fish. The fish company. That's who they're sponsored by.
Is it sort of? I'm guessing it's sort of Fish Town, is it?
It's Fish Town, Grimsby. It used to be called Fish Town.
Right, and they changed to Grimsby.
They had to upgrade to Grimsby.
What's got a harbour or something, is it?
I think it's 100% coastal fishing place.
It's completely surrounded by water.
It's basically an island apart from one bridge.
Right.
That is made of fish bones, and they have to
Monkey Island.
Yeah, yeah, they have to crawl across it to go fishing or watch their football team play, Grimsby Town.
Okay, well, I have to drive across that fishbone bridge to get to Exeter, aren't they? Because we're playing them at home.
Well, we're playing them at home on Saturday. The Fishmen come to Exeter, who we're calling the Scone Men. Well, Grimsby have had a kind of strange start to the season. So of the last 5, this is going backwards in order. They won on Saturday against Macclesfield. They then lost, drew, lost, and then won. The loss the week before was Salford, 1-0, who have hardly, despite our predictions, hardly set the league alight.
No, I mean, I didn't know anything about Salford. Well, I mean,
You just knew about the cash.
No one really does.
No.
Because it's been such a quick kind of run up the tables, hasn't it? But
it's basically the equivalent of the Halloween shop that opens in town.
Where
does it come from? Where do they keep the rest of the stuff? Where do those people work the rest of the time? It's basically that.
In a warehouse somewhere.
Guess so. prepping witches' masks.
It's mad that, and it's like one day, and like most people don't care about it either. Like,
do you want to know my
Halloween.
theory?
What?
Cover for drugs.
Could be. Yeah.
You can literally use the same language. Trick or treat.
Yeah.
Maybe. Halloween
be.
shop.
It's pretty large scale, isn't it? They've got them in most towns.
Look into it, police. You're talking about county lines a lot. Look into this. Halloween shops. Legitimate or not?
Yeah.
I think not.
Something going on there.
Something going on there. Same as Salford City. Something going on. It's a front.
Yeah.
It's definitely a front.
So
Grimsby, anyway, they got beaten.
Who they got? Anyone we know?
No, they haven't really. They're kind of player informed. This guy, James Hanson, up front, scored 5 so far this year, which equals... I mean, we got 2 players that scored 5. That's not true. Martin and Law both scored 4, haven't they? So, but Grimsby seem to rely on this guy. They've conceded quite a lot. You know, like not the worst, but almost the worst in the top half for conceding. So they've scored 16, but they conceded 12, which makes me think we should get some goals against them.
Yeah, it's nice to be in this position because I'm kind of automatically feeling like, well, we'll be fine, won't we? We'll be fine. We'll see them off.
Well,
and in my mind, the worst case scenario is a draw, which isn't even that bad.
Indeed.
I mean, we don't want to draw too many, especially winnable games if we're seriously thinking about the automatic places. But it's nice to be going into this, and I'm not, thinking, well, we should be fine. We should win this.
This. And I think we should. I think people will be worried about coming to St James Park. They'll be looking at our kind of, unbeaten status, obviously, but also we haven't conceded many goals at all.
No.
And they'll think that's going to be a difficult game to play. And do you know what? Every kind of Devon Live interview that happens a few days before, that's the kind of line all the managers are putting out there.
Right.
And I always think with those interviews, they're doing 2 things, aren't they, those managers? They're trying to, say, we could take positives from this game, like we should be expecting to get something. But then they always put in the clause, but it's a difficult place to go, which makes me think always their job doesn't depend on losing at Exeter City.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
Yeah.
A bit like Manchester City or something.
It's also the
what
kind
can
of
we do?
Almost verging on pointless kind of stranglehold the media has on kind of, and clubs on, interviews generally, just pointless, wasted time, aren't they? Every now and then you get something good, but ultimately it's just trotting out the kind of party line, and you kind of think, why have I watched this?
It's literally computer games, isn't it? Where you have, on FIFA or whatever, you have 3 options, don't you? You say something positive, you say something negative, or you say something encouraging. And that's all they got, it seems.
Yeah, well, you just don't want to risk it, do you? It's too, anything you could say can be misconstrued or could go, really, people could kind of take something the wrong way, or you could go viral. It's just easier, isn't it, to just go just essentially say nothing.
Yeah, weird though.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It basically renders the whole process pointless.
I find a certain irony in that we're commenting on the outrage of people saying pointless things.
Yeah.
But there we are. We're going to keep saying it.
Yeah, well, we've got nothing to lose, have we?
Who? Us?
Yeah.
No, indeed.
We can say anything we want.
And we do, often.
Yeah.
So that's Grimsby. So they sit in 9th at the minute. They've scored 16. They've conceded 12. I think they'll be worried about us. We're still, of course, top with 22 points, which is quite the haul.
Yeah, not bad at all, is it?
Really not bad. And I think it's really hard to say, isn't it? I think we said that Newport would be a kind of a measure of what's happening. I mean, Newport's always a difficult place to go. Pick up a point there under quite a lot of pressure and with a dodgy ref. To still come out of that with a point, stay top, seems really good. The teams below us keep changing. Crewe, Swindon, Forest Green.
Oh, definitely. And you've got to look at these these same fixtures from last season. It's not the first time that we've had that we can look at very similar games from this season compared with last season, where last season we lost 1-0 away at Newport in a very similar circumstance where it's like a very tough game.
Yep.
Exactly what you're expecting to get. But the difference is this year we got a point because we scored early and then we had something to defend, rather than when you can't get, you're kind of facing that battering ram and trying to score, which is what it seemed like last season. You got no chance, No. But it's good. It's an improvement on last season, like literally, and like a very easy comparison.
Yeah.
And it's good to be making that what seems like progress, doesn't it? You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that in mind, I mean, we keep talking about this, but the thing that seems most in our favour is the depth of the squad. So a Josie, I was expecting kind of big things from him. It hasn't really happened yet, although, you know, it's only been a few games and some early days, and he's been injured, he's coming back.
Yeah.
But then we've got this Nigel Attangana.
Yeah, well, we keep talking about him, don't we? Like in anticipation of him coming back.
He's back to fitness.
But yeah, we travelled with the squad and he was out there warming up.
Was he on the bench?
No, I don't think he was on the bench, but
Okay.
he was there and he was, you know, running around, or at least on the pitch. So yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? And it's a weird one because it seems like a strange time to have a new signing coming in, but that is what's happening. I know we signed him a while ago, but he hasn't featured. So. Yeah, and hopefully, like a new dimension to the team. I'm not quite sure, what we said before, where he's going to fit in.
Oh, no, we're not really quite sure what kind of player he is, are we?
Well, I think he's a kind of midfield kind of enforcer, and it's sort of classy enforcer.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm basing this on nothing.
A classy, but like a doorman in a bow tie.
Yeah. Like James Bond.
James Bond. Is James Bond an enforcer, or is he...
He's absolutely enforcing some things.
Yeah, in a dodgy way, I think.
I thought they'd kind of woken him up a bit for the 21st century.
Is he? Is there a 21st century Bond? I mean, I haven't watched the James Bond film since Roger Moore was James Bond, I think.
Really?
No, that's not true. I've seen Pierce Brosnan.
Must have seen a few Brosnans. I mean, I kind of... I bailed on them after Brosnan as well. I mean, mainly because it was just like Daniel Craig's got blonde hair. That was like my main reason. I was like... I don't know, I'm not into this.
You didn't
Who's
like
this
it?
guy?
When you look at City's matchday squad, so from Saturday just gone, obviously we've had quite similar starting lineups for the last few games. Ward in goal, obviously. Moxie, Parks and Sweeney at the back. Sparks, Archie Collins, Jake Taylor, Randall Williams, Nicky Law, midfield, and then Bowman and Martin up front. That's been pretty static, hasn't it?
For the last few games, yeah.
Last few games. Then you look at the bench. So Jayden Richardson came on, Aaron Martin came on.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But then the bench, these are all people that... Well, no, they're not all, because some of them are new. But to have Woodman on the bench and to have Matt Jay on the bench not getting a game at all, that's quite significant. And then we've got the other keeper, Johnny Maxted, Alex Fisher and Ben Seymour.
Yeah.
Josie's not... I know he's injured at the minute. Josie's not even there. Attangana's not even there. Tilson, goodness knows.
Lee Holmes.
This is real deep thing.
Yeah, and these are all... A lot of those are starters. Like, even going back to last season, you know? Like, they were first team... You know, if we were to name our best 11, they'd be in there, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, not Tilson, but the
you know,
year before he would have been.
Well, Woodman, definitely. Jay, I mean, we had to rely on Jay quite a lot. Do you remember that goal he scored off the floor with his shoulder?
Yeah, well, straight away after Stockley
went,
left, yeah. And Matt Jay has come in when needed and stepped up. And to be fair to him, he's had a bit of a strange career, hasn't he, so far?
Yeah.
Being this kind of nowhere man who kind of, you know, is he the next big thing or is he destined for Tiverton Town or what is he, you know? But what he does is fills this role as a really good squad player.
Absolutely.
And, like, you know, when called upon, because, you know, you could be forgiven for kind of, and other players definitely do it where they're like, well, I can't be bothered then if I'm not going to be like starting, and even if I play well, I can't get in the team, which is the case for him.
Yeah.
Like, he can't like take Nicky Law's place if they're both fit, but yet still, when he is called upon, he really pulls it out of the bag.
Absolutely,
you know? Like, tries so hard and achieves like what he's there to do, which is like helping us score goals.
Indeed, he does. There's been some news this week, I think, that Randall Williams has been watched by some championship teams.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, who knows? You can never know, can you? Like, we're all a bit surprised by, not that Stockley went, but that the move he took, the club he went. So you don't know what a player's earning now, what they might hope to earn by going to a championship team, blah, 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 blah. And Williams might go, I suppose, if there's this kind of noise about him. Similarly, I think we would think with Collins, there's potential that someone would come in for him.
And
But-
Jack Sparks maybe too.
Maybe Jack Sparks, maybe Lewis Ward even. But A, if we're top of the league, I think they're going to be more inclined to think, well, I'll give it till the summer.
Yeah.
And B, that depth of squad means that we wouldn't have the same crisis. We're not just relying on the 11, are we? And if we lose one of them...
And it wasn't like we were relying on one with Stockley, but he was pretty much the only one scoring for a while.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like that. And I hope that, I really hope none of those go, and especially not in January. I mean, I'm perfectly willing to accept that they might go at the end of the season, because that's the way things are. But it was really annoying when Stockley went last year, wasn't it?
Really,
and it basically derailed our kind of like,
Yeah. But it's interesting to look at the goals, isn't it? So Law and Martin both got 4 each. Bowman's on 3. And then
is he only on 3, Bowman?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but then there's others. I mean, we're only 10 games in, of course. But because if he was hitting 5 in 10, we'd say, what a great return. So actually, none of them are very far off.
No.
They're looking like 10. They're looking like they'll each get 10 for the season.
Yeah, and that'll do nicely,
That'll
won't
do very nicely. As well as Taylor getting few and, Martin and Parks and so on.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is we could lose any one of them. And although Law's on his day excellent, I don't see it being the same kind of crisis that the Stockley departure.
No, perhaps not. No. Speaking of Jayden Stockley, it doesn't seem like he's... I mean, I suppose it's to be expected that he's not jumped 2 divisions and sort of become the main man up there at Preston. But he's very much a kind of substitute, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he wasn't even on... Have I got this right? He wasn't even on the...
He was on the bench, but on Saturday he didn't come on.
You're right. He was on the bench but didn't come on. Same as Story, in fact.
Yeah, he seems to have maybe lost his place. I don't know if that's because he's injured, because he like really was a kind of first team player most of last season.
Yeah.
But Stockley, kind of, I don't know. I mean,
well, it's that strange.
I know
thing,
the money's so important at this level, because it is a big difference between playing for a League 2 team and playing for a Championship team. I'm not, no one feels sorry for professional footballers. They get paid, though, very well indeed. But if you're thinking in terms of like your whole career and family and whatnot, you're not going to turn that down, even if it does mean you're not going to play every week.
Yeah.
But, there must be part of him thinking, I miss being the kind of main guy.
Absolutely. I wonder I'd be interested to know what the other clubs were that were in for him and whether I think MK was one, wasn't it? But
well, they definitely were, yeah.
Yeah, but, whether there was...
I mean, your quality of life is seriously dropping if you go in there. Just ask Hiram Boateng.
Indeed. So...
By the way, they're also having a pretty bad time of it, I'm glad to report.
Are they? Struggling?
I think so. I don't think they do. Well, they're not. I don't know. They definitely...
They're
usually losing whenever I sort of chuck them a glance.
They've not set the league on fire. Well, yeah, MK sitting 15th at the minute. So
actually better than I was hoping for.
It's not great, though, is it? Blimey. So that's... Yeah, that's how I feel about the squad, really. So Atangana's the kind of interesting one at the minute. I wonder when we'll see him next. There's some of these blimmin' leasing.com games coming up, aren't there? So maybe he'll start to appear in them.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Well, it'd be good to see him anyway. I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing what kind of player he is.
Yeah.
Is he the League 2 Paul Pogba? Is that a good thing?
Yeah, well, indeed. We'll find out, won't we? Excellent.
Do you like football? Are you looking forward to seeing Exeter?
I know nothing about it.
But he's doing it for me.
You mean soccer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it.
But you'll know by the end of the day. Not only that, he doesn't know that he's going to be the honorary director of the football club. Of Exeter City Football Club.
We go in this way.
Here.
Thanks to everyone who's been getting in touch. Don't forget, you can always get in touch with us in the usual fashion on Twitter at Big Bank Pod, on Facebook with the Big Bang Theory Podcast, and via email bigbankpod@gmail.com. Your comments and questions are always welcome. We particularly enjoyed talk of out-of-town shops, of course, reptile shops being a real subgenre. Have them on residential streets. There used to be one in St Thomas. There was one. Is there still one on Heavitree Road?
As far as I know, it's still there, yeah.
Still there, living the dream.
It's always been there.
Yeah.
It'll be a sad day when that goes. Yeah, I don't know.
I suppose you don't want to buy your reptiles off Amazon, although ironically, the Amazon is a good place for reptiles.
You want to be able to go and meet that,
Yeah.
snake before you buy it.
Yeah,
Because
that
how do you know if you're going to like him or not?
And you want to see how big that monitor lizard really is, if it's going to fit in your.
Will it fit in my
hamster
garage?
cage. Yes.
That's another sort of curious thing, kind of weird, like subculture of Britain, isn't it? People keeping like lizards and stuff in a garage.
Very strange.
Everyone always knows someone who's done that or does that, or you know,
and then
friend of a
the
friend.
kid at school gets to bring in the snake skin because they can't bring in the whole snake
Yeah,
for obvious reasons, but they bring in the snake skin or like the
yeah.
T-Rex's claw or whatever it is.
There's always
that's-
like a drum kit in there as well. I feel like, which are those things? Do those things go well together? I feel like going to scare the lizards with that. Maybe I'm making this up. I mean, this might just only exist in my head.
No,
but-
I think that's the thing, isn't it? You kind of the detritus of suburban life that ends up in a garage.
BB guns, a
People-
drum kit.
I tell you what it is. It's dangerous items that you want to enliven your suburban life with.
Yeah.
That you can't actually keep in the house.
Yeah.
A crossbow.
Yeah.
A Black Widow catapult.
A samurai sword.
Samurai sword.
You got a quad bike in the garden. It doesn't work.
Your granddad's helmet from the war.
Yeah.
Quad bike. Some sort of circus item. Unicycle, juggling clubs.
I suppose it's kind of crazed kids, isn't it, who get into these different crazes, but also, I don't know, there is something that, it's all these kind of like dangerous things you're not really allowed.
I think it's
You
more
always,
like
you always know
dads.
someone who's got one, or like someone's older brother when you're younger, you know.
Yeah, or isn't it dads that refuse to grow up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm putting myself in that category.
They obviously become dads at some point, but yeah.
Yeah, but they kept it going, and they kind of scare their children's.
Do you remember when there was
friends
that
with-
big old like Express and Echo kind of campaign against samurai swords?
Yeah, who knew that they were dangerous?
It was but it was such a big thing. It was like the main thing they were kind of. I mean, it's gone. It's no wonder it went weekly, isn't it? It used to be
it turns
every
out that was
day.
the death rattle of the Echo when they started talking about samurai swords.
Yeah, I mean, some people blame the internet, free content. I think it all started going downhill when they really started going on about these samurai swords. I mean, how many people have even got them?
Well, quite a lot of samurais, I suppose, but
Yeah, but in Exeter,
In Exeter, not
East
many.
Devon, yeah, not many. And anyone who has are just nerds who have got one to put on their wall, and they wouldn't dream of ever like hurting anybody because they're too scared.
and also, like you wouldn't use that sword because you have to clean it. So you're not like using it for fun to like chop the cucumber.
No, that's why you've got it, so you can sort of polish it up and look at it and
Yeah.
everything, and go on about it at your karate class.
Down the dojo.
Yeah.
See you down the
So-
dojo, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Other things.
Well,
That's the main thing I think of when I think of the Express and Echo.
samurai sword campaigns.
Yeah.
The main thing I think of is the same 5 people writing in, livid. There was always a guy in Whipton would always write in. There's always a woman who'd always call herself Mrs. whatever her name was from Heathertree.
Right.
Whatever the issue was, they'd find a way to blame the youth of today, the council, the university, like livid.
Yeah.
The Church of England. These are all kind of main targets. I don't know why people are homeless. Aren't there lots of empty churches? Or I don't know why it takes me so long to get into town. What are the council doing about it? That kind of
Yeah.
level of complaint.
My bus was 14 minutes late
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That is annoying. And
That was the
yeah.
Echo. That was kind of the
Well,
lifeblood
that, and
of the
also
Echo.
the classified ads. There's always amazing stuff. Like someone trying to sell like one plate for like
50p.
Yeah, 50p. Like
Yeah.
you want someone to come around your house
For sale, 5 plates.
You want someone to come
50p
round
each or £2 for 5.
just
yeah.
to
Buy a
give
plate.
you some small change to get rid of these. Just chuck them in the bin if you don't want them.
Take it to the charity shop.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Why are you trying to get that? What are you going to do with that money? Buy like 4 pints of milk?
I mean, I want to be charitable. I think like some people are really kind of scraping to get by, but I swear those people, that's not what's going on.
They
were
just want company, don't they? They want someone to talk to.
Do you think?
I think they just want some interaction with the outside world, They're probably desperate to not sell the plate. Probably a family heirloom.
50p. There were always like royal plates. Charles and Diana marriage
What's
plates.
Denby? I feel like that's
That's a
something.
kind of posh plate, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. I mean,
For sale, old issues of, I don't know,
It was always that-
Bridal magazine.
it was always
in the
old
60s.
issues of, magazines, country living. So
Yeah.
now, of course, the Echo's been replaced by these kind of magazines, Exeter Living, Exeter Life, Grow magazine, Devon Life. Oh no, that's a real thing. Devon Live. All this stuff.
Yeah,
It is it's a bizarre world we live in.
it's very strange.
So we
Whereas
enjoy.
they're slightly opposite, aren't they? Because those things are all like, look how great everything is.
Whereas
Whereas
the
the job
Echo
of the local newspaper is to be like, look how bad everything is. The seagulls like stolen my dog.
Yeah, indeed, that was a real heartrending story of a boyfriend who lost a dog and then blamed it on a seagull.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Although definitely.
But allegedly.
He sat on it and then said, I think a seagull? I'm sure that isn't what happened. I'm sure people wouldn't be that cowardly.
Get in touch if you've got a favourite Echo article. Here's mine, or it's more of a headline than an article. City dog eats shed and lives. Remember that one?
No, but that's brilliant. Yeah, the whole shed.
I don't know, I never read the article. I just lived in the glory of that headline forever.
Yeah, I can't remember any. There's probably been some classic ones.
Tell us
And then
about
the time
them.
when Uri Geller put that weird orange dot on the back of it. Was that for Exeter or was it for England?
I think you're getting your...
Was that on the
I think it was
Mirror
a
or
national
something?
thing, yeah.
Right. I'm sure there was a sort of Echo version that
Well,
Uri
he
Geller
went
did.
on the pitch, didn't he, against... I think it was Everton in an FA Cup game. Maybe it was...
Right. And did he
And-
sort of piss in all four corners of the St James's Park? I
No idea.
think that was Barry Fry, actually. Right.
But I do know that he did get us all to chant win when he was on the middle of the pitch
Right.
to win the FA Cup game.
Did we win it?
I don't think we did.
No.
I mean, I try and blot out everything Yuri does because it's the absolute workings of a madman.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we got lumbered with him. We got enough local weirdos. Why did... Oh, we've been over this many times. But why did Uri Geller ever come?
What
was going on
he
there?
single-handedly saved our club, so that's not,
Did he heck?
you know.
Anyway. Thus ends our diatribe on weird things that happen in Exeter.
Yes.
There's many more things to talk about, and we will do so over the remaining weeks and months of the season as we surely, inevitably, reach our goal, which is...
We've got a similar problem to XWeb, really, haven't we? Where there's not enough to talk about because Exeter are just ticking along nicely, and that doesn't make for great content, does it?
Well, you're
So
saying we haven't got a lot to talk about, but we've got plenty to talk about in terms of samurai swords.
we've got loads of talk about other stuff, like till the cows come home.
Tell us what you'd like
for
us to
example,
talk about.
where does that phrase come from? Well, we won't get into it now, but maybe we'll save it for another slow week.
See you on Saturday, Dan, for Grimsby Town at Hum.
Can't wait. At Hum.
Oh, dear.
St
Yes.
Hum's Park. Yeah. Yeah, see you there.
See you there. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.